straight.
Story of events that may happen.
How many minutes is this? Oh, this ain't much. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We watch 5 minutes and then we gotta go. But just look how truthful
8 a.m.
this really looks.
Stock exchange.
You seen this one?
It's a cold, breezy day on Wall Street.
Anybody seen this?
The Federal
No?
Reserve's
Okay.
announcement for QE4.
Still down
Futures
there.
are up
There it is.
significantly.
Y'all have remember that a long time when I brought up QE4, we talking, well, they get ready to do QE3 now.
Well, the QE, it's on, actually, they did it in September. It's $30 billion a month until everything's better, which
is
by putting money in the system is going to make things worse. So it's 30, they call it QE Unlimited because it's not going to stop. You can't, once you start giving people $30 billion a month, it's not going to stop. And that's what they're doing. They're giving the banks the $30 billion, and then they're saying all your bad paper that you have, your derivatives or whatever, will insure it. So it's just kind of giving them, you're just kind of swapping everything out. So instead of calling it bad and just making them take the hit, they're keeping everything low with interest rates and everything. So
pumping that paper into an economy which caused hyperinflation. That's where our biggest fear that we should be preparing for. Not fear, but our preparation for hyperinflation.
It may not even be it may not even be an economic thing, collapse, but it could just be a disaster. Like you say, people all up in New York and New Jersey, they weren't ready for that.
Right.
You know, so when stuff happens, it's a real big problem. They don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have cash, they can't get out of town. Lost her what?
Wow.
Is she diabetic?
Yeah, because she was in the house for like a couple of days, and she had already injured it. Somebody ran her foot over when she stepped out on the curb to, the trash, and then the storm hit like right after she had been to the doctor, but then she'd been in the house that time, so it wore on her, no lights, water everywhere, and she just, by the time they got to her and everything, they had to take it off.
Wow, that's serious.
Sister.
Hit it, and we're gonna see this, and I want you to
Dow Jones just breaches 2,800 high of 14,164. Gold just at an all-time high of 2,900. Silver just reached $100 per ounce. The dollar is holding at 53. With official unemployment at 16.3%, there's a nervous feeling on Wall Street that if this doesn't work, the world could implode into a depression that will last for the remainder of the decade. 8:19 a.m. Beijing. Chinese officials announced that they can no longer allow Washington to devalue their holdings. After making their concerns private, China accepts that Washington will never stop paying its debts with inflated currency. China makes an official statement from Beijing, quote, "We have made our concerns known privately for some time. With QE4 about to be announced today, China will have no choice but to stop purchasing U.S. treasuries. We have allowed Washington to try to work through their imbalances for 4 years. But with global inflation and U.S. consumers rapidly shrinking as a percentage of global GDP, we feel that a Western recovery is unlikely until they reform their entitlement programs." 8:45 a.m. New York stock.
Hold on.
Entitlement.
I just want to say something. As far as purchasing U.S. treasuries, does everybody know who the biggest purchaser of U.S. treasuries is?
China. What country?
The U.S.
The U.S.?
They're buying it over and over again because nobody's buying it anymore.
We?
China, yes.
It's called TARP.
Yeah.
We're buying toxic.
That's what part of the bailout is.
Well,
that's what that
yeah.
QE is for, because China's backed off on buying it because they're going through kind of a recession themselves, and it was China and Japan was like the 1 and 2 purchasers of our debt. Japan's going through hell with the Fukushima stuff. Their economy's crashing, so they stopped doing it. So instead of just saying nobody's buying it, they have to buy it. So the government's just buying it over and over again. So we're buying our own stuff back. That's just to show that it's already hit. They just keep doing stuff, to make you think that everything's all right.
Like it's the normal pattern.
Right.
Well, you're the mouse on the wheel, or the hamster on the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit it. Finish it.
Upon hearing the statement from China, Dow futures had a sharp reversal and begin to drop. Gold leaps past $3,000 per ounce, up $150 per ounce in the last 26 minutes. CNBC awaits a statement from the White House. 8:50 a.m., Washington, D.C. The president makes an official statement to calm investors' fears. He tells Americans that he has spoken with several G20 leaders They have assured him that they will continue to increase their purchase of treasuries and believe that a strong U.S. economy is the only thing that will bring back global prosperity. He has also spoken to Chairman Bernanke, who assures him that a strong dollar will be the result of QE4. The president also reminds Americans that his recent New Deal recovery programs that he passed through executive order will increase the likelihood of a lasting recovery. He also notes that Beijing, since 2009, has slowly been reducing their holdings, so the impact will be minimal. 9:51 a.m. New York.
Y'all know they had Batman with the Superman?
Yeah.
Okay, very amazing.
Markets are halted for 1 hour by the authorities. 10 a.m. Main Street, America. The news about the stock market in China has now spread. A panic begins to set in and unprepared Americans rush to the grocery store in an attempt to purchase food and water. Americans that didn't know what was going on are alerted by all the news stories and panic buying. Within 50 minutes, there is a nationwide rush to the stores. Empty store shelves in America become a reality. 10:52 a.m. New York. Markets reopen and the Dow Jones resumes its collapse. Investors around the world join the sell-off in bonds and stocks and begin to purchase commodities. Unlike the panic of 2008, this time commodities are seen as the only safe haven from a dollar crisis. 11:30 a.m. New York. The Dow falls 1,700 points since reopening. Trading is halted for at least 2 hours. The Federal Reserve injects $200 billion into the markets and announces that QE4 will be delayed until further notice. Congress has called back to D.C. for an emergency joint session. Some members of Congress are saying that they consider China's statement a financial attack. 12 p.m. Main Street, America. Several cities begin to see civil unrest after grocery stores are forced to close. Traffic in the streets and violence break out. The president puts the National Guard on alert for a possible deployment onto U.S. streets if things don't get under control soon. Several news agencies are reporting injuries at grocery chains and call for the authorities to do something before it gets worse.
Stop it.
12:15 p.m.
If you have, I'm gonna let me go. If you're gonna have injuries just to go shopping for toys after Thanksgiving, imagine how violent they'll be if they can't find food. They were beating each other up just to get a toy or a computer on Black Friday. Y'all do know that. Walmart had, it was reported fightings all over the country.
Yeah.
Not as crazy as it was, but every year they fight. So to see this should be a wake-up call that you don't want to be in no lines when this thing hit. You heard, we're gonna get ready, you heard silver, you spend $23, all of a sudden it shoots up to $150. Who's the winner?
Okay.
And you don't tell people you got all that either.
No.
No matter of fact, as things go into next year, become even more cautious of who you talk to about what you have. Because our people are starting to rob from each other more frequently now. You're starting to, and shoot each other up as if it's no problem.
And another thing, just to keep in mind, when they're talking about the markets crashing, now that's credit, because 99% of the money out there is credit, not cash.
Right.
So just start thinking on being more cash oriented. On I need to have that on hand, because if stuff happens and everybody's just used to swiping a card and the ATM don't work, where are you getting your money from? So the only people that are going to be able to move around are people that actually have cash. So
a couple of dope boys in your family.
see?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
is that
after we
That's
get,
the only people who got cash.
yo, we gonna get them too. They're gonna be gone. You can't imagine the drug hole will be. They will rob the drug hole so quick. You would not survive. They will eat you alive. Remember, we really ain't an organized. How many been in the military? We not no organized group of people for defending what. We only became one time organized, and that was during Hurricane Andrew. After we realized we ain't got no choice.
We ain't got no choice.
I tell you like this, look at the militia out there. They stockpiling weapons.
Weapons.
You don't see the ATF going after them. They stacking up food.
They prepared.
And they say when it hit the fan, they prepared to protect their land. You know what I'm saying? So all looters or intruders will be shot.
They
Plain and simple.
They territory. They have to defend their territory
Yeah.
now. But
But there's a
another
movie
thing-
coming out about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dawn, yeah.
Another thing I want to say was that remember they had the mad rush, buy your gold parties, right? And you would think that would be over with, and then when you look at it, you got mostly, when you go into pawn shops that's buying all the gold, they're mostly Arab dudes that own these pawn shops.
Yes, Arabs.
They are different culture people.
Right.
And then it's like they got those signs up still today. Like they saying, like, in other words, we still want your gold.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Come and bring it.
They stay on Dixie Highway,
They
yeah.
got signs down US 1 all the way US 1.
But you know they always buy low and sell high.
That's right.
So they turning a hell of a profit off gold. Because they buy it from
I
you
don't
like
even think
pennies
they even trying to
and mark it
sell.
up 3 times retail. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just in case, go in there.
It's just a hint
Because
on
when you look in the
Yeah.
when you look in the showcases in there, their showcases look like scraps. It's not really the actual bulk that they had out before. So they saving most of their stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
they're not selling that stuff back.
I got a new.
Yeah, especially
They
the
know
bling,
that's
the
the real
diamonds.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New sister back here. Give your name, sister. So we good. Nasha. Nasha is African dancer. She does. Show them what you do, because I know you still do it.
What, massage? I do massages. I teach class. I stop the class down.
Oh, you stopped it, yes.
Yeah, I'm not teaching here. I dance with a group. They're up in Miami City area. Classes are every Sunday. That's basically it. I haven't started class back down this
Yeah, 'cause
side,
I met her, she
I
was
might
down
be
here.
moving back
Yes.
up on that side.
And we're at the karate school, which is y'all know the karate school on US 1. She was doing over there. I got a chance to witness them. They were having a program over there. But please come again. That's your son.
Yes.
Son, thank you for coming. I might not. He look older. I shouldn't have gave him that way. He looks older now.